Okay, so parts of a circle. So if you look at, I apologize for the quality of this scan. I'll do better from now on, but this is supposed to be a circle instead of an oval. And each one of these parts, all I'm going to do is go over the vocabulary and the formulas, and then the examples are your assignment. So whether you do that, today or tomorrow, whatever, that's what the assignment is the examples, except for one I'll do. All right, definitions. It says a line segment that passes through the center and has endpoints on the circumference. Anytime it says on the circumference, that means it's on the circle. So we're talking about a line segment that goes through the center. So here's the center, and the endpoints are on the circle. So what we're talking about in that case is the diameter. Whoops. Okay, this next one says a line segment that has both endpoints on the circumference or on the circle. So it doesn't have the same designation that it goes through the center, but both endpoints are on the circle. If you look at the secant here, it has points on both sides of the circle. However, the endpoint isn't on the circle. So what is a line segment that has both endpoints on the circle is a chord. So a diameter is a chord, but not every chord is a diameter. A chord is a diameter only if it goes through the center. Okay, let's see. Let's go down to this one down here. It says a portion of the circumference. Okay, so a piece of the circle. When we talk about the circle, we're not talking about the interior of the circle. We are talking about the circumference. Okay, so if we're talking about a part of this circumference, it can be between any 2 points, but here is our example right there. It's called an arc. A piece of the circle is called an arc. So when we go back up here to this third one, a portion defined by a chord and an arc. So what defined by a chord and an arc means is that those are the boundaries. The boundaries are a chord and an arc. So here we have our chord and the boundary of an arc. So that is a segment. Now don't confuse that with a line segment. If you want to distinguish the two, you could call a circle segment and a line segment. If we're dealing with circles, then it'll say circle segment or just segment. Notice that the definitions in here, they say a line segment, simply so that you don't get it confused with that segment. Okay, this next one says a line segment that has one endpoint at the center and the other on the circumference. So it doesn't go past the center and it ends on the circle. So that's this right here. It's a radius. Now that's not the only radius in the circle, but that's the only one that's labeled. Okay, now this middle one here, we're going to change it a little bit, or we're going to add to it a line segment that touches only one point on the circle and is not inside the circle. Because a radius only touches one point on the circle, but it's inside the circle. So when we look up here, what we see as far as a line segment or a line or a ray that only touches a circle one time and it's outside the circle is called a tangent. Now I know it looks like that it touches all the way there, but it actually only touches one time. But the width of our pens and pencils and stuff like that, you can't narrow it down to just one point. But a line segment that touches only one point on the circle is a tangent. And a portion defined by 2 radii and an arc. So 2 radii and an arc, kind of like a piece of pie, is called a sector. Okay, some formulas. The diameter goes all the way across a circle. It's twice as big as a radius. The circumference is the distance around a circle, which kind of relates to the perimeter of a polygon. The way you figure circumference is it's 2 times pi times the radius. Or you could do pi times the diameter. The area is pi r squared. Those are, I'm not spending much time on those because those are things that you've learned. But one thing I want you to star down here, to be exact, like if it says to give the exact answer, you leave the symbol pi in your answer. Anytime you use numbers for pi, you have to round and you're not exact anymore. So the only example that I'm going to work is 1A, where you name the circle. A circle is named by its center. Since the center here is N, this is called circle N. When you identify each of the following: a chord, diameter, and radius, you're going to use the segment symbol. So segment DN is a radius, or segment EF is a chord. Segment symbol is just the straight line with no arrows or anything on it.